I just recorded this in slow-mo. So I'm gonna do it again. More thoroughly, apparently. I've told this story once. I also put the most push-up a push-up bra can be on to pretend I have breasts. Well, to like push up the little amount of breast tissue that I have, and it's just such a joke. I'm sorry. Anyways, forgive me. Let's talk about musical inspirations, shall we? Whoop. Okay. So, we'll start in the beginning. The first song I remember knowing or listening to was, I was sitting in the back of my mom's truck with my older brother in the front seat. We're going like to our daycare or something. I was like 2 or 3. And it was King of the Road. No phone, no food, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes. But that wasn't, you know, just the first song I really remember hearing and probably singing along to quietly. It was probably my 5th or 6th birthday. I think it was my 5th birthday. My parents got me 2 Now CDs, Now 4 and 5. And my 6th birthday. I don't remember, whatever. And I loved, I think Now 5 had Kylie's Love at First Sight, and it was my favorite thing. It was so good. And I just think about my parents probably sitting in the living room watching TV and just hearing that song on repeat in a bedroom and being like, what is this kid? Like, my mother loves old rock, and my dad loves country western and like really early hip hop. It's hysterical. So they got me the Britney Oops album, and I loved that also. I had an Aaron Carter album or 2, and I loved those. An NSYNC record, I had No Strings Attached specifically, and that was amazing. I loved listening to the radio. Avril Lavigne was really big. I had her first or second album. I had the second one, and I'm sure I burned the first one. I had Hilary Duff's first album, which I listened to that until it was dead. Got her second album burned, of course. That second album was better than I think it was received, but that first album was so. Come on and give me a kiss. Come on, I insist. I'll be something new, a metamorphosis. Dun 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 dun. Okay, we're done. And then that second album though, with in a moment everything can change. So good, so good. Loved those records. Loved Avril's first 2 records. I didn't get her 3rd record until a little later, but I loved Girlfriend. I listened to that all the time on the radio because it was on the radio all the time. Oh, I had YouTube. I discovered YouTube at that point. Started burning music. I remember my parents got me a lot of Bowling for Soup albums and Simple Plan. I had a couple of theirs and loved those. I was really into Britney. They weren't so into Britney. They stopped buying those after Oops. They were like, you're not getting more of that. They wouldn't buy female artists unless it was like on like a Now CD. It was cute. Which is fine. It's not actually fine, but whatever. We're moving on. I buy whatever I want. Listen, never mind. Beyonce was always inspirational, but she was also a genre of music I didn't get into until later. I was really into dance. Anything with like a fast BPM was my thing. I remember Kelly Clarkson being a thing. The first singles I bought on iTunes were like Womanizer and You Got a Piece of Me, and honestly my life would suck without you. Love that song, but I don't think she likes that song, which is fine. But that album was really good. I don't think I bought it, but I had a bunch of the singles. Oh, oh, I do not hook up, I go slow. If you want me, you're out of your reach. I know your hair, your heart on your sleeve. Ooh. I loved Britney. Oh, I got into Madonna in high school. I started with the Confessions record, and then went to the Sweet and Sour, Sticky and Sweet. That's funny. And then between Sticky and Sweet and MDNA, no, and then I loved MDNA, and then I got it, and I just went back and listened to all of her discography and learned about everything else, because I was like, why do I only listen to current Madonna? What a fucking gross, who am I? Like, who does that? So I went back and, you know, listened to and learned that I love American Life. That's an amazing record. I mean, like, of course Americans didn't like it. Like, they don't like anything that is critical of American culture, which is hysterical, because American culture is like a bunch of ripoffs. It's like K-pop. It's just a bunch of ripoffs. It's just a bunch of ripoffs, which is just pop, but they call out K-pop for being a ripoff and not pop for being a ripoff, because pop is owned by white people, you know, and they don't like that. White people don't like being critiqued. Oh, God. Anyways, I love Gaga. Got her in high school. Katy Perry, Kesha, love them. Always loved Riri's singles. I didn't really have any of her albums, but, well, I did get, until I was, you know, the download era, and then I, you know, would listen to things on YouTube a lot. I'd buy what I felt like I could when I had the money, but I would also illegally download stuff until about my senior year of high school or junior year. I was like, I can't do this. This feels immoral. I'm being so serious too. Like, I sound so goofy, but really I was like, I can't keep stealing music. It's funny. And now I have both Spotify and Apple Music. Gaga was super influential. She took over a lot of my musical desire. I remember being really into that Mamma Mia movie that happened in like 2006. Loved that soundtrack. And then Hairspray, that remake in the early 2000s. Loved that soundtrack. Rent, I loved Rent. Yeah. Basically, I did what my friends were doing, and I listened to pop music. I listened to what I was handed. It took a long time to find that I have desire and taste, and my taste is EDM. It's like, dun, 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 dun. I like fast-paced dance music. But I can get into other things as an adult, which is nice. Yeah, those are my big inspirations. You know, Madonna, Britney, and Gaga for a long time were my trio, my trifecta. But that's very white, and I realized that I don't actually think those are my top 3 favorite artists, as much as they're the top 3 that just kind of got pushed into my direction, and that's just who I grabbed onto. And so as an adult, I've learned that, you know, I think Beyonce has a kind of ethic and principle that is unparalleled. I really love Rihanna. I love how focused and willing she is to try anything and do anything and finish anything and just get shit done. You know, that 2009, 2012 moment when she had 4 albums out was like unparalleled, you know, just this vast amount of good pop music. And now she has good makeup, and now she has good underwear. The reviews are good. Like, she's quality. Rihanna is a quality artist, and she'll jump from thing to thing and do quality, and that's fire. And I'm not going to compare to other artists, but like, it's easy to jump to another brand or another thing and suck, because like, who's good at everything? But I think Rihanna's one of those people who's willing to stop and figure out the team that would be best for her. And that's really, really wise. That's really wise, because not one person ever runs a business. It's a team. Jennifer Lopez. I didn't listen to J-Lo growing up. It wasn't until she, you know, got that hook, which I learned later was an old Latin American song. That's a hook that's very famous from another song. They took that and gave it to J-Lo and put it on this dance song. That album is amazing. That whole album is amazing, because it was to be a dance pop album to compete with Lady Gaga and Katy Perry and Kesha and Rihanna, who was doing dance music at the time. And so it was like, it had to be competitive. And Robin was really big at that moment. And Annie Schweiz. I love Jennifer Lopez. I love her work ethic. I love how hard she tries to make quality. I love how hard she works on her own physique and her own physical appearance. I think her commitment to moisturizers and to hydration and to physical fitness is magnificent, and I live for that. I live for that work ethic. So I have different musical inspirations based on different parts of you know, my music taste is so hyper pop. I took off my bra and took out my hair a little bit. Kylie Minogue, 2010, we got All the Lovers, and at the same time, I then learned more, looked into a couple of her other songs. In college, got more into her. I loved her album Kiss Me Once, or Kiss Me More? Kiss Me Once, Kiss Me Once. Kiss Me Twice? I don't remember. Kiss Me. So good. So good. So good. I love In My Arms. The One is one of my favorite songs in the whole world, and will play, if I ever get married, it will play at my wedding, for sure. So will All the Lovers and Love at First Sight, but The One is, I love that song. I love that song. I should be so lucky, 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 lucky. I should be so lucky in love. Red-blooded woman. Love her. Love Kylie. I have musical inspirations from childhood and musical inspirations that immediately and completely inspire my musical taste and the music I want to make and the music I want to be a part of. Then there's artists who inspire my work ethic, and that's what I wanted to really jump in, because I just didn't realize I was so obsessed with white girl dance pop music, which I just didn't think about. I just listened because it's my thing. And then I realized, oh my God, I have all of these Rihanna songs in my library. Then I have all these Beyonce songs and all these Jennifer Lopez songs. And I'm going, but I don't call them my favorite artists. Oh, well, because I'm not paying enough attention to who I'm listening to, and because I'm a white girl who's still low-key dealing with her own internal racism and not, you know, and having to like flush through that. Oh, I really, really love Rihanna. Oh, I really love Jennifer Lopez. Oh, I mean, because Rihanna's Unapologetic album, oh, stupendous. The Anti-album is obviously gorgeous. But I loved the, I almost just forgot the name, damn it. Come back to me. You the one that I'm all day. Where have you been all my life? What was that album called? Because the deep cuts on that were good too. That one is one of my favorite Rihanna deep cuts. Do You Thing. I love Do You Thing, Do You Thing, Do You Thing. I have that one on my workout playlist. It's one of my favorite songs in the whole world. Whoops, sorry. Rihanna had an album called Loud when it came out. I was so blown away by Only Girl in the World. I still know where I was at when I first heard that bass line drop. Medford, about to go, I think I was on Biddle, you know, Tinseltown, that movie theater's right here, and just coming from, anyways. Want you to love me. And then the whole album was amazing. The whole album. Na na na, come on. And oh na na, oh what's my name? Oh na na. Oh, what was the other one called though? The next album was called Talk That Talk. That's what it was called. That album was amazing. Anyways. Rihanna also has one of my favorite songs to have sex to, which is called Skin. From Loud. Yeah, I love Rihanna. She's magnificent. I love Beyonce, and I love Jennifer Lopez. I love Lady Gaga. I love Madonna. I love Cher. As I learned, I got older. I love a lot of her personality and what she gives to the world. Because again, I love a lot of EDM dance music. And of course, she's huge for Believe. But she has 35 other albums that came out, you know, from 60 to 95 or 98, whenever Believe came out. So like, she didn't just do dance music, you know? Yeah, that's my music inspiration. And right now, also Blackpink is a massive part of my musical inspiration right now. Those girls are fire. Their production team is fire. And their delivery, their desire to keep going, you know, 3 out of the 4 of them have now done solo singles. So like, those girls work and hustle, and I live for that. So yeah, my inspo always centers around, or typically centers around, EDM dance pop that's female oriented. But it took consciously realizing that I was centering white artists, and that was an interesting realization because the music was right in front of me. I was already listening to it, and I was just like, oh, I'm just thinking that I only love these white girls. That's not it. Or like one of my other favorite dance songs, Commander, David Guetta and Kelly Rowland, you know? I mean, one of the best dance songs from that era, you know? Oh, dance. Dance. It's like, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, know who you're listening to, respect them, worship them, give them love. Music is magic, and all music originates from Africa, from Black people, so have respect.